personally love that professionals work that way because that that single thing is probably the area that I have the most value to bring to a client that has complex circumstances. If you as an individual, you may have a business, you may have property investments, you own your home, you've got mortgages, you've got income from various sources. Maybe you're looking at different types of interesting investment that can be tax efficient, different types of investment that can have different degrees of risk. Um, you need to consider life insurance, you need to consider inheritance tax, you need to consider all of these things. And when you speak to a solicitor, because solicitors are very heavily regulated and because of the culture and the way solicitors work, they will give you the law and they will stay inside that box, which is what they have to do. If you speak to a financial advisor, they will give you advice on your finances and they will stay inside that box because that is what they have to do. They're very heavily regulated now. Financial services has really come a long way over the last sort of 20 years in terms of qualifications, in terms of how they practice. And there are very strict rules to make sure that they stay inside that box. When you're a mortgage broker, again, the same. There are very, very clear lender criteria. You have to make sure that you stay inside that box. Now, as an individual, as a client who has this estate, who needs advice from a range of solicitors, financial advisors, mortgage brokers, consultants on different levels, people involved with business, people involved with property, people involved with investment, people involved with tax. As an individual who is perhaps not uh, a professional by trade, understanding what all of those people do and what they don't do is very complex. Understanding the advice from one and how to make it consistent with the advice from another, how to build that strategy for how you're building your estate and sort of a professional strategy to make sure that the advice isn't going against each other, but is all uh, bringing you in the same direction is incredibly difficult. And it's not something that individuals are trained to do. There's very little actual financial training for people. We don't learn about tax in schools. We don't learn about how to manage personal finances in schools. We don't know we don't learn about what solicitors do and accountants do and financial advisors do. So it's a huge learning curve, and there's so much out there that you need to get absolutely right. Now, I have experience of getting that right with hundreds of clients. If you're doing it for the first time for yourself, what are the chances of you getting it absolutely right? And not just right from the point of view of not having a problem that's going to come back on you, but right from the point of view of really maximizing what you can get from all of these professionals and all of the advice that they can give you. The chances are very, very slim. So, as an estate planner, as a succession planner, with the relationships that I have with professionals, understanding what they do, how they work, the services they have to offer, and understanding, looking at an individual's estate, understanding what professionals can bring to the table. I'm in a position to think strategically about how to build those different things in order to get the best impact from my client. And like I said, I've experienced working with hundreds of clients to build these types of estate planning strategies. So I genuinely think that is perhaps the biggest area, the biggest value that I have to bring to a client with complex circumstances, because I can help them get the most out of their professional team, not just the individual thing that I can put in place.